Yo, yo, welcome back to another one, man. Ep.4 Horsemen in the building, man. I'm your host, Ricky Fontaine from the Memphis 10, and I am on one yet again, man. We're back with another thing. I got my boy Q in the building. What's up, my guy?
What's going on? What's going on? Another week of wrestling and catching up and shooting the shit. What's up?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. As you can see, we had two horsemen fall off the back of a horse this weekend. We got personal stuff. Again, we dads, you know what I'm saying? We we're husbands, you know what I'm saying? We have spouse. We got real life stuff
Exactly.
going on. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to our guy, man, Sig and Joe and Mark, all of those guys, man, that still hold it down for us and stuff, man. Y'all better be tuned in while y'all doing what y'all doing. Except for Sig, he can't be away from him. But everybody else, man, y'all better be locked in to tell everybody else that we live right now.
Right. Most doubt. Most doubt.
All right, so I want to start off a real quick shout out to you, Joe, man. I know um, the Lakers and stuff. They if you guys watched last week episode, I ain't the one to gossip, but somebody said that they will go back to the crib and take care of
Their
business.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, they halfway did it. They halfway did it.
They got one in there.
They got one in there, and that annoyed me because I'm like, when
If you're
you're
gonna
up,
sweep, let's go on sweep. Yeah.
man, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like, like if you're going to go up 3-0, go ahead and put them away. Let's not play around with it and give them uh any kind of hope or whatever. But it was a close series though, because the Lakers actually led the most minutes out of the series. So I don't know if they're saying the Lakers are a better team, but to me, I feel like the better team did. They found a way. They pulled that championship mentality out, and they took care of the Lake Show 4-1. So
Oh, yeah.
Joe, I'm sending you some purple and gold flowers. That's two different things.
He got plenty of it
Um,
already. So
yeah, I'm saying that's two different things. But man, shout out to you, man. I can't wait to get you guys back on here. So, um, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into SmackDown.
mm.
All right, so SmackDown, that was night one, if I'm not mistaken. That was supposed to be night one of the
Yes.
draft.
First, yes. Night one of the draft was on SmackDown.
Okay, so night one of the draft, and you
Let's
know, I
all let's also keep in mind that the champions all stayed on the same show. So we normally a draft pick, you would imagine the champion. I would imagine Roman Reigns would have been the number one pick, but Roman is the exception. Cody Rhodes would have been the number one pick, but because champions stayed on the show, there was no need to draft them. Roman declared that he was pulling out the draft, like don't draft me. I'm better than y'all, so you ain't got to draft me. So then
he
they
pulled
did
up
it.
he pulled up
So
Brock Lesnar pretty much.
right, so that opened the floor of who's going to be the number one overall pick. So
So that being said, night one we had interesting from SmackDown. They picked Bianca Belair
mhm.
number one.
Right,
And you know what? I'm sitting here thinking, I'm just like, I'm watching, Bianca and Montez series and stuff, trying to finish up on that.
oh,
And
you,
you can kind of see how I won't say he's struggling, but it is kind of poking at him a little bit
yeah,
that that she is where she is right now. You know what I'm saying, in a career, and now to see her go number one, she's still on top of her game and value, but man, that's crazy.
yeah. I've said it before. Bianca Belair is the female John Cena at this point. So until I guess the praise for her changes drastically, she's gonna be on that same path. Now she is getting a few boos here and there, but I think that's just like John Cena. Sometimes people are tired of seeing you on top,
Hmm.
so then they start booing you. But now with Jade, because they are an official tag team now, it looks like it takes her away from the women's title picture. So now you can kind of, I think people will start appreciating her work a little bit more too, because she's not always in the title picture.
Yeah, um, it's and I like the way they're doing it. Like I said, we talked about this before with Jade, and how they're using Bianca to kind of bring her along, because Bianca was Jade. When I was watching her in in NXT, excuse me, uh, Bianca was still pretty raw, but you saw the athleticism. You saw she was figuring her way around the ring, and I was like, this girl is gonna be bad if they do this right. And the same thing could be said for Bianca. And now that you have them as this tag team, that we all know they're gonna win the belts. You know what I'm saying? It's inevitable at this point. I don't see them letting anybody really beat them. That'll be a heel turn on one way or the other.
Yeah,
on how they will lose those belts.
If you look at the history of those women's tag titles, this is, in my opinion, this would be with Jade and Bianca, the first legitimate tag team that they've had, and on paper, nobody can beat them. So I would not be surprised if they had a 2.5 year reign as champions. Again, giving Jade time to build up, people invest in her, because I do envision in the time when they do decide to split them, Jade would be the heel. So, and that just gives them time to work on her and work on that character, because that's the feud everybody wants eventually, is that one-on-one with Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, Jade will probably be a better heel and stuff, but at this time, I'm like, are they going to let is Bianca still going to be, like you said, she the John Cena of the women's part? So I'm just like, if they kind of booing her now and we hold that reign for a long time, I'm like, like, is that still going to hit? You know what I'm saying? I see people cheering Jade more than anything on the heel turn, because they just kind of tired of that. So I don't know. Maybe they'll take some time to play up Belair as even more of a babyface or whatever and stuff to make their heel turn work. But we all know it's in the works. But I'm still enjoying the ride on that. Then came SmackDown with their pick. I mean, Raw with their pick, because Bianca Belair was number 1 to SmackDown. Black female, love to see it. Love to see it. Then Raw number 1 pick, believe it or not, was main event Jey Uso.
Yeah, and I don't know, that one was to kind of scratch my head a little bit. There was some controversy about that pick. I see. Here's the thing: they like Jey over there, but in my opinion, they putting him in these high profile matches, and 9 out of 10 he's losing those matches. So if you're going to use him and you're going to invest in him, then go ahead and pull the trigger, because there's no reason why I see, especially with Gunther no longer being the IC champion, I can see him winning the IC belt. I'm surprised they didn't switch. I think because of Logan Paul being the US champion, the reason why they didn't switch those. A lot of times those titles switch shows, going back and forth. But that's on SmackDown. So the only other single title he could go after outside of the World Championship is Intercontinental. So maybe they want to put a single title on him, maybe not. But right now, I was very surprised of him being number 1 pick. If you're about to talk, the next pick was Seth Rollins, and why wouldn't you should just pick Seth first? I think it would have took some pressure off of Jey of being the second pick, but being number 1 overall, that did kind of have my head scratching though.
I mean, it's different, but you can see that what they're trying to do with Jey, they're trying to push him, and stuff like that, and then to have him be the number 1 pick, to me, that was pretty awesome, man. That's putting you like, hey, putting it in like, hey, this is what we're doing, and Jey is the guy. I'm interested, even though I know we'll get to it or whatever, but we'll just kind of hop around. But Jey and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And Logan Paul, if I'm not mistaken, he's on the blue brand, right?
He's on SmackDown, yeah. How
they were doing it, I don't know.
Nothing has been announced yet, but right before the draft, they did mention that the draft picks do not go into effect until Backlash. So we still got another week or so for Backlash. I think that's May 10th, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't have a calendar in front of me. But
they said it was supposed to. That was something they threw in this week or whatever. That the rosters don't go. They don't. Where the hell I get balloons from?
You went for the thumbs up balloons.
I know. And now I didn't get. Man, we didn't discover something else
right
now that gets. What? Wow. Okay. But no. That was weird. That was really random.
Right.
Yeah, we they was talking about the rosters don't lock into place until Friday. I think if
Let,
that's what they
let me
that's what they
let me
said.
look it up just to make sure.
Because it was such a random comment by Michael Cole throwing it in because they knew that Nia Jax was going to be on there wrestling against Liv Morgan.
I did remember that. Yeah, that her being. And speaking of which, and of course we'll get to this as we talk about the draft picks, because you mentioned Nia. I did not realize this since the draft. That we've been having a draft every year for I don't know how many years. This is the first time Nia Jax has been on SmackDown. She's always been on Raw. So this it's a fresh start for her. Now, granted, some of the same women that she would normally face on Raw was probably gonna be on SmackDown over the years to be on SmackDown, but it would be cool to just see her on a whole different show. Does she get involved in her other family business over there as far as the bloodline? I mean, we don't know. We'll see.
That's
Oh
an
no,
interesting fun fact.
Backlash is actually this Saturday, May 4th. So
Yes.
it will make sense for the picks to go into effect this Friday.
Yeah. So that would main event Jey Uso. Then we go back and second pick, the highest NXT pick, Carmelo Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Hayes was the second pick from SmackDown. Two black people going, two black people going,
Respect.
the top pick. Yeah, respect to that. Carmelo, it took me a minute to grow on him or whatever because he went from the whole just seeing his whole storyline from NXT to where he is today is night and day. Coming, how he got that, earned that contract. I think he lost in the tournament, then end up getting a contract, or he had to fight or earn his way for a contract, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think he won the breakout star of the year.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And he has worked his way up. He's had some great matches, and I think the match with, which is cool. Shout out to Cody Rhodes giving him a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Not title shot, but just give him a go.
Shot at him. Yeah, main event.
Yeah. Random spot when they both jumped off the ropes, though. I don't know what that was, and I think Cody hurt himself for real on that one. But he did put. It was a pretty good match. Cody showed him what's up and got you some time to go and do some things. So I'm looking forward to see what Carmelo Hayes does on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one, Raw, they had Seth Rollins drafted on there, so they're going to keep that going. Obviously Seth Rollins is out hurt for the time being or whatever, so still a good pickup for that. I just go down each one instead of going back.
Because a lot of the folks are staying on the same shows. There's really no part of.
So let's see. So we got Bianca, we got Carmelo, Randy Orton stays. Then we talked about Nia Jax. LA Knight is still on SmackDown. The Bloodline, that they're going to give that name right now.
Right, and it's very noticeable that when they say the Bloodline, they included Solo, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman. They mentioned Roman Reigns. Said at the beginning of the show, "Hey, take me out of the draft. I'm betting y'all need to pick me."
Yeah,
and of course, and then officially assuming that Jimmy is officially out, even though I think there is reports that he's actually hurt, so he may be out for a while. But if Jimmy Uso is out of the Bloodline, it's just those two and Paul Heyman that's considered the Bloodline right now.
Right. So that's an interesting take on that. AJ Styles remains there as well. Andrade is on SmackDown. They got Cedric Alexander and Shanti the Adonis. Whatever their tag team is, they threw them together, and I haven't seen them tag yet. Did they have a match where they tagged yet?
Was that the one of the picks that was after the show? I think I missed it.
Have. It may have been. I'm not sure.
They were on the show. You said this is Cedric Alexander and Ashanti?
Yeah.
So a little history on that one, and sometimes something that people may have missed. It's one of those, after it's one. I think it was strictly social media where they show like either on Twitter or Instagram some video of them talking of Ashanti the Adonis talking to I guess it would have been Adam Pearce or maybe Nick Aldis, one of the general managers, and then also shows Cedric Alexander talking to him as well. So I think they may be coming back to that where the general manager has some plans for them, and I guess this is the plan to put them together as a tag team. But yeah, I didn't know that.
What's going on? Like, what's going on with Cedric? Like, Cedric can go.
Yeah,
like
it's just they don't know what to do with
they
him.
don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with him. And then you got, I guess Ashanti is still like, had some skills or whatever, because you would have thought that he would have got cut with old boy that's down in the Indies.
Well, he's very skilled too. If you remember his early days in NXT, he can go as well. He just hasn't had the opportunities as before. And now with B-Fab, with I guess they are officially called the Pride now, with Bobby Lashley and all them. Then they leave, and then Top Dollar being released, that just leaves Ashanti out there kind of holding the bag, like, what's going on? What can I do? So, but I like the fact that they're giving him an opportunity, and we'll just see what happens.
So that was just basically Top Dollar being the ass then, because he was the only one out of the group.
It's funny, when he got released, everybody just assumed that all of was a Hit Row was released at the time. I said, no, I think it's just Top Dollar.
Right.
So
yeah. So, and I've been seeing some things I've been seeing some little Instagram posts and whatever, and reels and whatnot that show him out wrestling on the indie circuit. So, maybe he can work his way up and change his attitude, and he can be somewhere where people are really paying attention to him or whatever. So yeah, good luck to him. And the last couple of ones we talked about Baron Corbin being on there, and the OC remains on there with AJ Styles. I don't know what that's going to be like, because they still haven't shut that down yet.
There's no,
like
yeah,
with the OC and what's going on with AJ Styles.
Because they've been on basically separate storylines, it hadn't really affected the group. Because at one time, Gallows and Anderson was down in NXT, fighting for the NXT tag titles, and then AJ doing his own thing. If they really want to ramp up, I guess, them breaking up or getting together, then AJ does have a match against Cody Rhodes at Backlash. So if the OC gets involved with that, maybe either you turn all of the OC as far as making them heels, or they officially separate themselves from AJ by like not helping out or not coming to the ring with him, even though he's mentioned for them to stay in the back. I don't need y'all until they come to a boiling point of what to do with them as a group. You still gonna get this. Well, I'm gonna do my thing, y'all do y'all thing, and then kind of go from there. So
yeah, so that's interesting and stuff with that. If they do put the OC to a point where AJ Styles doing the lone wolf again, because he pulled the lone wolf kind of thing in TNA. I don't know what you do with the OC, because you're not putting them in tag competition. You're not putting them up, and then for them to be such a good tag team everywhere else, and then come to WWE and get used the way they do. I don't know. I don't know if you're just doing it for some of the younger guys or whatever. I don't understand their direction with the OC. You might as well just go ahead and let Yim do her thing, Meechin do her thing by herself, and send them back down to NXT.
I was just thinking about last week's conversations. I said, so in a faction like this, could a whole tag team be considered the marginetic of the group?
You're right. So if we doing factions,
right,
with the OC, AJ Styles, and Shawn Michaels,
yeah,
and then
them as a group.
The rest of the
what
guys,
they call themselves, the Good Brothers as a group. Those
the Good Brothers are Marty Jannetty, and Butch Reed. Yeah, and then Meechin is she can go though. Yeah, just let her go.
She doesn't need a faction. She can go.
No, she don't. She can go on. She can actually go on her own and do her own thing. So let Meechin go. Free Meechin.
Right, free Meechin.
All right, so then we go over
we'll give her a pass to the cookout because she married to a black man. So
and her sister dating a black man.
Yeah, the whole family got it.
The whole family got black in them. Okay, so
we joking, and I want to put this out there because people know it, but for our show and our sake, the Bloodline, the hottest thing going on for the last three years within wrestling. Every last one of them, the twins, Solo and Roman, all married to black women. So,
all right, round of applause. We got black Samoans.
Man, what's
babies being made? So that's going to continue that bloodline.
Terrorizing folks, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, they finna terrorize the WWE for decades to come. So shout out to the bloodline and their family. Raw draft picks. We talked about Jay, we talked about Seth Rollins. Then we get to Mr. One Braun Breaker. Being one of the third overall picks for Raw. What'd you think about that?
Bro, I mean, I like Braun Breaker. He's cool. I just don't. Be honest, I don't like the name. We all know what his last name is. They need to go and rebrand him. He's a Steiner. He's Rick Steiner's son, Scott Steiner's uncle. Out, and we know the family. And no disrespect to Rick Steiner. Maybe the marginator of that group, but
man, that's our thing, bro. We gonna put everybody on it. Base it off a tag team where one person is trash and the other person excels.
Yeah, now, but Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pup, they need to, because he actually looks more like Scott anyway.
I was just finna say, he needs to come out. I wasn't gonna be messy.
He needs to come out with a chain mask thing that Scott Steiner used to wear around his neck. With the Big Papa Pup music and change his last name to Steiner. If you want to do Braun Steiner, I'm fine with it. Or I mean, he needs to be a Steiner, man.
Because he do look like that, even though they had the wrestling get up, that's what Scott Steiner had on, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Back when the old Michigan varsity jackets, and everything like that. He looked just like Scott Steiner, and I'm just like, okay, like, bro, is that his uncle? Is his dad?
If you notice his theme music, it already starts out with the siren that Scott Steiner used to have. So they just go all the way with it.
Just go all the way with it and make him a Steiner, man. So hashtag make Braun a Steiner needs to be on social media right now because I'm interested in seeing where they go with him. I think I saw if I'm not mistaken, did I see Braun and Sheamus in the back? So maybe that could be a nice little pro going on as well here coming up. Liv Morgan has been on Raw. We saw last night that she picked up a big win over a SmackDown Nia Jax.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because we just said at the end of the last sentence about what was the word you used from the talking in the back. So Sheamus and Braun was talking.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, if you have not been following social media today, there was a video that showed. I think Liv Morgan came out of the room first, and then shortly after that, Dom Mysterio came out of the room.
They think they slick because it was in the background.
It's in the background.
And I said last week, I was like, hey guys, did they do anything else about that stare down with Dominic and Liv? And it just went to black. Right. I was like, what's going on with that? That is about to be very,
and I was gonna mention I was gonna mention about the stare down from last week because we already know how Liv Morgan feels about Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Rhea Ripley is with Dom Mysterio right now. Rhea is hurt and at home, so you telling me that Rhea's not seeing this on TV. So when she does come back, and everybody envisioned Liv, even though she did get some cheers last night during that match with Nia, Liv Morgan will be the heel in this feud, and and Rhea, I think WWE wants Rhea Ripley to be a face because people do like her, selling merchandise, stuff like that. She's gonna come back as a baby face, and like Liv might be running for her life when Rhea gets back. So
but then it's like we're kind of seeing like the Judgment Day crack.
Yeah.
You got Finn, you got Dom, you got Bobblehead, and then you got JD. Until you get another win, bro, I'm calling you Bobblehead. So we got Bobblehead, and then you put Liv in. That's going to take Mommy out the Judgment Day to me. So I'm like, are they just gonna break the whole faction up?
That's what I think is gonna happen. They're gonna break the whole faction up. Damon Priest is a champion. He can go do his own thing. I can see maybe Finn and JD staying together. Maybe it's a tag team. If they want Rhea Ripley to be a face, they got to separate her from Dom. And maybe you see Dom first off go off and do his own thing at first, but then maybe Liv starts tagging along with with Dom while she's feuding with Rhea just to cause because ultimately I think that was going to happen. In order for Rhea to be face, Dom was going to have to do something to piss her off and separate itself from her. And with her being lined up with Liv, I can see that's where the breakup happens with them. So
Okay, because let me see if I can bring bring this up because I want to see it again here. Let's see what we got here. All right, because that's interesting because playing off of what we saw last week, and it was a stare. I think a lot of people jumped right into it as soon as they saw Liv looking at Dominic. I don't think it was a look of I'm about to, kick your butt or whatever. Right. It was more of a what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
what you want to do?
What's up there? You know what I'm saying? And we got some scandalous stuff going on out here. Liking the story, like how you gonna play the hate of mommy off of that, and that keeps that feud going, which makes it a real feud.
I just thought about something, and as I'm refreshing Twitter, Liv Morgan just happened to pop up, where she says, "Here's to the revenge tour." She's on a revenge tour. Everybody assume, and we know the revenge is because Rhea injured Liv last year. Well, Rhea's not around anymore. That doesn't stop the revenge from happening. So another way to get back at Rhea versus get back at Rhea Ripley as far as revenge is to get with her boyfriend. So
I'm gonna take your man too. That's part of it. You taking stuff away from me. You took time away from me. Yeah. You took title opportunities and stuff away from me. I'm gonna take something away from you. Your title is gone. I'm gonna take your faction away from you, and I'm gonna take your man at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
clever. I like it.
Yeah. Hey, that's what's up.
Look, I tell people all the time, it's wrestling, but it's also a TV show. This is what the drama is. This is what the scandal is. That's what we tune in to watch. So
let's talk about it. See, I was, my lovely wife. I love her to death. That's my baby. We talk about a lot of stuff, and she just wanted to talk about people who watch wrestling. And we always get into this conversation about
it's fake,
wrestling.
Right?
Yes. I remember being a kid and I found out that it was fake and it was devastating, but it didn't stop me from watching it because it was good. It was scripted art of people in the ring performing moves. They had storylines and stuff like that. It's a real deal live reality show, like whatever you want to call it. Put some athletic moves and stuff in there and things like that. That's what it is.
What's the word? It's a variety show. It's different things. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get action. You're gonna get drama. You're gonna laugh. Look, history of us watching wrestling. There's some modes that made us cry. Everything that's involved, everything that a successful TV show provides or a successful movie provides, wrestling does the same thing. So if you can get out of your head about it being fake and predetermined and focus and just watch it for what it is.
And watch it for what it is, because everything else is fake.
Right.
Every movie you go TV show is fake. Please. Like I'm a loving marriage and Huntsville kind of person. I watch all that kind of stuff. You mean to tell me that the cameras just happen to be at this Subway where y'all come in and meet and going to get some subs, but y'all finna go talk about Disney and that and all that other stuff? You mean to tell me the cameras just happen to be there?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at this time, not a lot of people are in there. You like, come on, man. Like, it's the same thing. So I was just like, don't knock, us for doing that, because you guys are doing the same thing with reality TV show. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
that's all
same
I
thing.
ask.
Yeah,
and as I said there, she said in the back. So we're gonna talk about this again at the end of the thing or whatever. So okay, going back to these draft picks, we got Ricochet staying on Raw with his boo Samantha. We talked about Sheamus. The Alpha Academy, right now being the Alpha Academy, they had a match last night where they, end up losing to Awesome Truth or whatever. Interesting to see how that's going to continue to go.
Right, a little controversial too because the way Chad been talking bad about the rest of the group, but y'all got drafted together, so we'll see.
That's why they're going to continue. They're going to continue that. They're going to continue that beat down from within. Interesting to see, unless I didn't see anything. The Creed brothers, I didn't see them get drafted. Did you see anything about that?
No, I didn't. And I guess I see a lot of times with it, and I mentioned in the group text about fixing the draft. So this is one of the problems with the draft. Everybody's not available. If you notice, there was a draft pool of people for night 1 and night 2. So you technically could only draft people that was in that pool. So everybody on the roster was not eligible to be drafted. And I'm assuming the Creed brothers was not. We don't know why. They just was not in the pool of draft picks. So of possible draft picks.
Okay. So, yeah, I was interested. I was going down through the list. Okay, we talked about the Alpha Academy, and we talked about Kiana James from NXT that got brought up.
That was a little surprising to me. Now, one thing about NXT, really, we only see the matches that they have on Tuesday nights. Mm-hmm. And even though she's been in a few feuds, she was in a women's title picture at some point, I haven't really seen much about her. And her character is more of almost reminds me, if you remember back in the WCW days, you remember Stacy Keibler, before she came to WWE, she was Alexander York in WCW.
I remember that name.
She had the tall lady, the short skirts with the laptop that she walk in. And
she sure was. God dang.
Kiana James reminds me of her because she wears the same kind of like skirt with the long legs and the blouse and looks business oriented. So unless they have unless they want to use that same type of character or they have some kind of work like that for her, and I could be back to Stacey Keibler. I could be wrong on the name because I remember what was her name? Goldust's wife, Marlena. She was a very similar character over in WCW too before coming over. So I could have the names wrong, but that character is kind of what reminded me of.
We about to fact check it. That's the same thing as that's easy. We got the internet at the point of our finger here. So let's see. She was part of the Nitro Girls.
Yes, she started as Nitro Girl, yeah.
And then let's see, Stacy Keibler. Let's just go ahead and pull that up. Stacy Keibler. Share screen. All right, let's check out old Stacy Keibler, who's 44. All right, let's see. Yeah, good old Wikipedia. We don't know if it's going to be new or not, real or not. So she was a Nitro Girl. And she was Miss Hancock.
Hancock. Okay, so not Alexander. Yeah, so Alexander York was Terry Reynolds' character.
That was Terry Reynolds' character. Yeah. So that was it. I remember Miss Hancock. I remember that. And I remember the other name and stuff as well. So a little fact check there and make sure that we keep our news and everything
accurate,
and stuff like keep it accurate and stuff like that. So
we go off the dome here, but we could be wrong sometimes. So hey,
that's fine. We're not gonna say that Stacy was married to a black man. We're not gonna do that.
She was not
because she was not.
Even though she was in a relationship with David Flair, from what I understand, that's what they portrayed on TV. But I think it's for a short little period of time they were actually together in real life. So,
she's now married to a guy named Jared. They've been married 10 years. So congratulations on your marriage. I don't think Jared is a black name, but more power to you, Stacy. We love you out here in these wrestling streets. So Kiana James, we're going back to Kiana James. So I'm like, you bring in up more women and stuff to kind of fill out to give the roster a little bit more feel on the single side of things. Mm-hmm. But Kiana James they might throw her into a title picture, to go against Bayley and stuff like that. But that goes with what we like to say is go ahead and get a women's U.S. title, mm-hmm. or something to give these women Shayna, a couple of names that I'm going to run off, and then you can go ahead and say it. Alba Fire was dope
Yeah,
over in
UK
NXT.
NXT
Oh,
UK.
and yeah, she was everything. Alsa Dawn, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, all these people. When you got a belt like that, you're going to make the division on another level.
And maybe that's the plan, because that's what kind of shocked me too, because not only Kiana James, but also Blair, and we're gonna get to that, Blair Davenport,
Yes, Blair
Lara,
Davenport did.
Valkyrie. A lot of women left NXT, but see, here's the thing: NXT is the one that's introducing the women's North American title. So you're adding another title over NXT, but you're taking some of the women away. So that's why. So maybe they do have plans of adding a secondary women's title on the main roster, because they did move quite a few women over.
Yep, they did. And like I said, if they can bring that, that'll be great. So then going on to finish up another one, the picks or whatever on night 2. We got Imperium with Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. And Giovanni Da Vinci is no longer in Imperium. So we're gonna put something. Did we talk about that? Who the third member could possibly last week? Did we say something about that?
We did. Well, we talked about if they brought Elio Dragunov up, would you put him with Imperium, or would you? So I don't know. They don't necessarily need a third man, I don't think, unless you got them feuding with like another faction. But we'll see. Here's another thing. People sometimes WWE would do stuff randomly and then just never do it again. This had to be like 3-4 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago. Ludwig Kaiser had what they call these things, a vignette, like video vignette that aired on Raw just randomly one day. And
Yes,
I
I
said,
saw
okay.
that.
So I said, okay, they must be making a single push for him. Then they never showed it again. So they cut it and they never showed it again after that. Imperium kept doing what they were doing. So now maybe the time to circle back to that and have him have a single push. Good. I do like the idea of Gunther winning King of the Ring. So if he wins King of the Ring and he kind of runs his solo thing by himself, then maybe Ludwig could do his own thing too. That brings up a point, saying his name and how hard time saying his name. Is that, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of this topic. It was on another show. Is that a championship name? Can you see him winning the championship and they say the new WWE champion Ludwig Kaiser or whatever? Yeah, is that a championship name?
If Samantha said it's going to be a championship, Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
But I've read something. On one of the so maybe on one of the social media outlets. I want to say it was watching something on YouTube, but it was something out there that they said they were going to push him, and they were going to push old boy from A Town Down Under, the Aussie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller. Those are going to be the next up and coming people that they're going to push. So here we go again, ladies and gentlemen, the Marty Jannetty theme. So everybody knows that Gio Da Vinci is going to be Marty Jannetty, even though that he could go, but I can't see him coming back and the fans being like, "Oh, he's back!" Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't see it.
This is what I predict gonna happen. You'll get, when he's fully back and healthy, you'll get one run in against Ludwig when he's in a match. So maybe cause him to lose the match. They may have a blow-off match at whatever the next pay-per-view is after that. And then Giovanni is going to be back in NXT. That's why either back in NXT or released altogether is what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that leaves Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And since Vince McMahon is no longer there, Austin Theory don't have a leg to stand on with that. So you can see, you saw what happened when he was champion, and John Cena came in and ripped him a new one. He ended up losing it. It seemed like the momentum, because they were building him up. People didn't like it, but they made him a better heel.
Yeah.
But it's like when Triple H took over, you saw the legs get taken right away from under him. He was just a regular guy.
Yeah, but I do think there is some people, some powers to be people that do like him. So I can, and he does have history. He'll have to turn babyface, but he does have history with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So
Yeah,
if they do end up splitting up that tag team and Grayson Waller go off and do his Shawn Michaels thing, then maybe they can add, maybe they can, Johnny Gargano can pull him in back into his way, because that's nothing when we talk about draft picks. His wife got drafted over to SmackDown as well as himself,
did
so
she?
they
Because
keep
I
them
was just
together.
about. I was looking at that. I was looking
Yeah,
for that.
him, her,
So Candice LeRae and Indy
and
Hartwell went
yeah,
over. So the
that
way could
could be
be
fully back together.
forming
Yeah.
again.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Bet.
So as these other factions, tend to explode and break away, you may see a new one come back together. So
Okay. What's up, Corey Taylor? I see you joining in, man. Appreciate you.
shout out
Damage.
CT, that's my boy.
Oh, okay, then. What up? What up? Damage Control. Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kari saying they went over to Raw as well. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this sound weird, but Dakota Kai, she has a special place. I don't know. I love her. Push her. That I don't know what it is about Dakota Kai that I just really like. It's something about her. Push her.
Okay.
Push her. She's pretty decent in the ring and stuff like that from what I've seen, and stuff like this. So I'm glad that she's healthy again. She's got away with the mic, and she's pretty decent in the ring. Push Dakota Kai. That's another hashtag for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Push Dakota Kai. EO Sky is still there. Oscar, they're about to drop those chips. So, which means they're probably gonna drop them hoes. What was that? They played they wrestle Friday, right?
Who you talking about? You talking about Damage Control?
Damage Control versus Jade and Bianca. Is that Friday or is that Saturday?
That's Backlash, so that'll be
Okay.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna drop them hoes.
So
Okay.
yeah, dropping those. Now they probably had some kind of confrontation Friday on SmackDown, but yeah, they dropped them titles. They dropped them hoes.
Yeah. So let's see. We got CM Punk. That whole thing with Drew McIntyre.
I like
him
it.
That it's good. And Drew McIntyre did re-up with the WWE.
Yes.
So that's good to hear, and then to have this building with Punk. This is what feud stuff is made of. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's just thrown together. And they're using like people real deal hate for CM Punk and tying that into things and stuff. Did you hear about what the little clip that Drew said to Booker T? Like, you were there in the back. You said some
you
things
saw
about, and you saw what it did, and oh my gosh, and then he just kind of looked. I was like, so are they gonna do something with that? Like, if Booker T gonna come in with some stuff or with some words or what? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think that sounds more like a one-off. They were just doing it because they had Booker T in the building to do it, because of the draft. But that whole cat and mouse thing between Drew and Punk, I like that, because all feuds don't have to be, I'm gonna beat you down every time I see you. Let's do some mind games. Let's do some tricky behind the scenes to the point where they do finally get in the ring. Then it's like a bloodbath because I've been waiting to get my hands on you.
Yeah.
So I like those types of feuds. You mentioned Drew re-signing with WWE. Let's shout out The Rock, the final boss, for his little incentive on getting that done. So
getting them a nice
so we found out that the deal was, The Rock told Drew that if he re-signed with WWE, he would buy him a sword, and Drew is one of those Scottish men that collects antique swords, and The Rock delivered on his promise. And he got him a new sword. So
yeah, shout out to that,
shout
man.
out
Just
to the final
giving
boss.
somebody else something else to kill somebody with.
But see, that proves to y'all that the boss, that The Rock really is the boss. He's doing boss level things when it comes to just making sure he keep his guys. And now I would have loved to be able to incorporate that somehow within the Cody Rhodes thing but see, Drew wasn't one of the guys that came to help Roman in that match, so it wouldn't have worked out that way. But I can see The Rock, looking out for his guys when it comes to that, because The Rock said when he does come back, he's coming after Cody. So
that's gonna be fire, man. And you just in being able to give a glimpse into the future and stuff like
little,
that.
a little foreshadowing, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now that builds up because you know it's coming. Everybody
Mhm.
knows it's coming down the line. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be pretty dope. Blast from the past, yo. Braun Strowman is back.
Yeah,
Big Braun is back.
I think I left the room, was in the kitchen or something. I heard the music. I was like, okay, Big Braun back. So
I heard he was. I've been reading, over on the online about some things and stuff about him coming back. So they're going ahead
sometimes
and put that to fruition.
and I could be tripping, but sometimes you notice certain things. People come back. Did he change his hair color? His hair always been black like that because it's like a dark black, jet black almost.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in so. I haven't seen him in so
I
long. But
think
he
he
was.
was
You
more
know
like a
what? He was
brown.
bald though, wasn't it? The last time we saw him, he was bald all the way.
He
bald.
was bald. That's the difference. I knew something was different when he
He
came
was
back.
all the way bald last
Right.
time we saw him.
Yeah, he was.
So that could be it.
That page again, yeah.
But having Braun Strowman back, that's pretty big and stuff like that too. With the giving Damian Priest a lot more competition and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to that. LWO was drafted over to Raw, and it included Carlito.
Yeah, that's another thing where it's kind of controversial because but they gonna keep them together so they can get this feud together because I guess Rey Mysterio gonna come after Carlito or Dragon Lee, one of them. So,
but even if you saw that and he turned on Dragon Lee, he still was part of the faction. So you can't just automatically assume.
Right? Yeah, you only can't assume.
Yeah,
that that's why
the faction anymore. So they went on ahead and slid him right on over. Let's keep this going. Yeah.
You have to draft them all together and then let them decide if they're gonna keep Carlito in the group or not because he got some explaining to do. So
yeah, but you called that though. Shout out to Q.
Oh,
you called that on one of our things. Yeah, you called that. You said that it was going to be him because all of a sudden he was first at the scene of the crime, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And you were right. You called it. You called it. So I give you your props for that. So
you gotta pay attention to the details, y'all.
I'm trying. Like I said, I saw that when I saw that stare with Dominic and Westman, because I already knew what time it was.
Yeah.
I already knew what time it was. It was messy. They ready to get their soap opera on with Dominic and Liv.
Exactly.
Drew McIntyre, we talked about that. LWO and Braun Strowman and CM Punk and Damage Control got drafted over Drew McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen. And he did not like that whatsoever.
Yeah, he came out and said so.
Yeah, so I like how they played that, and that goes back to the whole thing about the draft and then putting storylines in the draft thing too. Just another thing to piss CM Punk off. Drew McIntyre off about CM Punk. You got drafted before me.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Damage Control, real quick before you go on, and I think Corey Taylor in the comments has mentioned that. I don't know if I knew this too. Did you realize that Dakota Kai is half Samoan?
No, I did not, and it just made me love her more.
Right. So
if they put
her into the bloodline too,
bro, pull some women into the bloodline though. I think that's going to probably be more. I think they're going to probably keep it like the way it is, and if they do, they won't be in the bloodline. They're just kind of a company. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they, as much as I want to, I don't think that's going to turn.
So I think Tamina is officially retired. I think I did see something like that.
What?
If not, she needs to be a part of it too. Especially if you plan on splitting the bloodline, because I would imagine. I was gonna say something different, but I might switch it. If you look at the history, when the Usos debuted, they
had Tamina.
So let's put Tamina over there with the Usos and Roman. Then put Nia over with Solo, Tama, and Jacob Fatu whenever he shows up.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so let's do it.
let's do it. Yeah, throw Dakota Kai in there some kind of way too, and that'll be a dope storyline. They didn't even see it coming. Yeah, I didn't know that, man. I saw that, man. That's dope. I didn't know that. Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough was drafted. Notice they didn't say mommy either.
Right.
They didn't say mommy either. Ilya Dragunov was selected from NXT to move up to Raw, which is everybody see there can either be him joining Imperium or him going at Imperium, because
Yeah,
him
feud, but yeah, him
and Gunther,
and Gunther,
when he
yeah.
was Walter, like they had matches, like they
Oh yeah,
had fisticuffs, like
yeah.
it was dope.
They were literally beating the brakes off each other. And
Yeah,
that's
so
how I like
that's
it.
what he was drafted there. Maybe we can recreate that again. Never know. The New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. You mentioned earlier, Lyra Valkyria is over there. The Final Testament has moved over from
Mhm.
SmackDown to Raw, which is a breath of fresh air. And I'm
Mhm.
interested in seeing now that thing with the Pride is over, where they're going to go with
Yeah,
this.
there was rumors about sending Final Testament down to NXT because they did show up. I want to say last week and
2 weeks
confronted the
ago
tag team. So it's a couple weeks ago. So and I do believe AOP is still getting the title shot at those. So
tonight.
oh, I was it
Well,
tonight?
it
So,
was so it's over for you, but it hasn't
yeah.
started for me.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they were
Yeah.
supposed to go.
He's on the West Coast for people. So for
Yeah,
those,
yeah, I'm on the West Coast. As you
yeah.
saw earlier when we started, it was bright as I don't know what outside, and it was dark where Q was. So yes, being out on the West Coast, we get our stuff last, and I get to mute my wrestling group because they're telling all of this,
Yeah,
all of
we
this.
sometimes we forget and we don't spoil
It's
everything before
all
the show
good.
even goes
It's
up.
all good. It's all good. So when I see it come through, I just turn my phone. I don't touch it.
Yeah.
I mute you guys for a little bit until I'm able to see it. So last pick of the Raw was Big Bronson Reed. I like the way they brought him back and they're continuing to use him.
Mhm.
He ain't losing a lot of matches either. They're still
Right.
keeping him strong in some way. So I think that Triple H got something for Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
In the
he's
future.
one of the ones they kind of keeping in that mid-tier, mid-range title picture right now. And instead of taking a big guy and immediately thrusting them into the world title picture, they building them up slowly so we can see. Especially if you get somebody now. Damian Priest is probably not the champion he would go after, but if you got I'm not gonna. You say if you had like a smaller guy like a Cody Rhodes over there, if you had him on Raw as that champion, I can see Bronson Reed kind of feuding with him, and if you wanted to keep the title on that guy, it's a smaller guy beating a monster and making him a little better. So I can see that happening in the future if that title ever changes.
Yeah. So that concluded that concluded night 2 over there. We did add in the random ones that came off the air for Raw, and then for SmackDown, really quick, we got Jade Cargill, Kevin Owens, The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, and B Fab. Tiffany Stratton. Let me back up. Do you think Street Profits going to win the title? Do you think they should take it off of them that
No,
fast?
no, right now. No.
And that's what's going to piss me off, because you're going to have them lose to them boys. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
They're not a real tag team.
It may not be like a clean finish. It may be some kind of interference. I'm not seeing. So Final Testament is now gone. They will officially be on another brand by the time Backlash comes to play. Because I can see them interfering in the match and causing Street Profits. But then, where do you go from there if they're not going to be on the same show afterwards? So I don't want them to lose cleanly, but I also don't see anybody interfering, causing that match. So granted, so if they do lose cleanly, you know what's going to happen. Who's getting the pinfall?
D'Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins, the Marty Jannetty of the group.
Marty Jannetty of the group is going to get the pinfall. Let me reach for a minute. Check this out.
Okay.
Let me reach. So you said outside interference, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if Logan Paul comes in and takes out Montez Ford to set up a singles
U.S. title
push
picture done.
for Montez?
I can see. Here's the thing. This I'm on not to bust your bubble. I can see that happening, but it'll be Bobby Lashley that go after the U.S. title, not Montez.
Oh, come on, man!
See, I know.
Is that a
That's
is
why
that a realistic match though? Like, because Bobby, like, that's almost like when Bobby wrestled the Miz as a payback
right. So
for Miz winning the title.
unless the plan is to put Bobby back in the WWE Championship picture, I don't see what else you're gonna do with Bobby. So he's gonna feud for the U.S. title or the world title, or that's a WWE title. So
Okay. All right. Well,
Now, Bob. Now, granted, Bobby could be quietly, sitting back, almost on a managerial role and letting the Street Profits do his thing, which would be great because I don't mind Montez going on a single run and still having Bobby as like his manager. I mean, I can see that happening as well, but as almost like the only thing because of what Paul Heyman is doing, we don't necessarily have to call him a manager. We can call him an advocate. We can call him a wise man. We can call him whatever because of what Paul Heyman is doing. But I can see that if Bobby ever decides to slow it down as far as in-ring participation.
Yeah. So we both well, you heard it here first. If the Street Profits lose clean, the Marty Jannetty of the group, D'Angelo Dawkins will take the pin.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure I chop this part up because I don't want to be the one to say if Logan Paul gets in, because those were his boys.
Yeah.
And
interferes
and causes
Yeah.
Montez Ford to take the pin. We already know what time it is.
What time
Montez
it
is
is,
going for that belt. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Bringing the gold to the pride. All right. So
which I don't like that name, but that's a whole other subject.
yeah, we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna even do that again either. So got my girl Tiffy time. She got drafted to SmackDown to continue her run to a WWE champion, because some people say it may be coming sooner than we think. I don't know if Tiffany is ready to take the helm just yet, but she oozing with potential, man, and she can probably hold that belt.
She is.
Legado del Fantasma, they're over. Was Elektra Lopez with them when they were down in NXT?
No. Well, yes. So, yes, she was. When they originally came up without her, they put Zelina with her because Alexa Lopez was still down in NXT. But when they were all together down in NXT, Elektra Lopez was the female of the group. Yeah.
And they just moved around Joaquin Wild and them and mixed them with swap them with Angel and Bertha
and Garda,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shinsuke Nakamura, a good veteran, is still around. Taking L's a lot lately.
But they moved him to SmackDown, right?
They moved him over to SmackDown. Naomi stays at SmackDown. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they've moved over, so hopefully that gives Chelsea a little bit more time to grow and show what she's made of. I think I eventually see a split between them two coming down the line.
Yeah, as annoying as Chelsea is to like the general managers behind the scenes, I think they like her as a talent and her personality, and so people may not realize it, when Chelsea Green was with WWE before, she was part of like the first releases, and she ended up getting released. She went down and she tore it up in the independents.
She did,
and that's the reason why they signed her back, so she can go in the ring. It's just finding and I think this annoying Karen type character is the right character for her. And that's what she is. She's a Karen, and I don't need to define what a Karen is. Whatever your stereotype that you can think of when you hear that name,
when you get done watching this and stuff like that, you go.
That's what she is. But it works for her, and I can see they keeping her around. People have been talking. If you notice, most of the women that moved over to SmackDown were part of tag teams, so they envision, even though the tag team champions can float between shows, people are saying that SmackDown is going to be like the main show for the women's tag team titles, especially with Bianca and Jade probably going to win them this weekend. You can see all those tag teams kind of floating over there on SmackDown, giving them people to defend titles against.
Yeah, but all them girls are about to take an L for about a year.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a wrap.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to bring it over to the women's side. Out of that group, Chelsea Green, I'm bringing it over to the women's side.
Who's Marty Jannetty?
Who is the Marty Jannetty of that duo?
It was hard. It's hard because they both can go in the ring. Only because of the lack of personality, I think Piper never would be the Marty Jannetty of their group.
Yeah,
Because she doesn't have the personality that Chelsea has. That's the only difference. And
yeah,
you say that, and I was going to joke about. You said all the women taking L's. It's going to get to a point where the tag teams are going to split, and random women are going to start tagging each other. Like Piper going to leave Chelsea and go with somebody else. Hey, look, so we may have a chance. Her and Nia may get together. Hey, look, we the only ones that can possibly beat these folks. So
yeah.
I can see that happening.
No, that was interesting. I thought about because like I said, I watched Piper. She was
Over at
over at
NXT
NXT and stuff
UK,
like that. UK,
she was killing it.
she was killing it though. So, pretty deadly. Speaking of NXT UK, their former tag champions over there.
Can both of them be the Marty Jannetty of the group?
Yes,
Just because I don't know. Honestly,
yes,
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you which was which.
yes.
Who is Kit and who is, I don't even know what the other name is, but
I don't know, but if I had to pick, the blonde hair won't be no, the blonde hair would be Shawn Michaels.
yeah, blonde
Because
be
he seems
Shawn.
like he has more charisma than the other one that's got the dark hair. I don't, but
Yeah.
whoever that is, I don't know. Forgive us, but whatever works.
This is just our opinions now. This is not fact, y'all. Don't get upset.
Oh, but you can go back and look at this video when it happened, and we'll call it facts. Candice LeRae, Andy Hartwell, we talked about that with DIY coming over to SmackDown as well, and then Blair Davenport rounding out the roster for this draft, and it left a lot of to be continues or to be determined with some of the other superstars and stuff like that, like Ivy Now and the Creed brothers, and I'm sure there's some other people and stuff out there that did not get picked. And I guess they're just going to show up, and then it'll be a random announcement that they signed a free agent deal.
Yeah,
with
that was that. Okay, have you been through all the draft picks? Is that all the draft picks?
That's pretty much everything, unless some other stuff.
You said something about free agent, and that's what I mentioned in the group chat about this whole draft thing. I get it. They're trying to compare themselves to other sports. The NFL draft was really going on the same time as a couple days before the WWE draft.
Right.
It does not need to be named a draft. It is not a draft because you think half the roster stayed where it's going to stay. Just call it what it is. It's a free agent move, and they should play it out that way where you can say every year. Let's say we do this in fraternities and organizations. You have a fiscal year, so let's just say right after WrestleMania, the new fiscal year starts, and from that point, everybody is a free agent when it comes to the shows, Raw and SmackDown. We all know you have a WWE contract and you can't leave and go over to AEW or whatever. But once Mania is over, everyone is a free agent between the shows, because they even do something like when Jay showed up and when Braun Breaker showed up, they signed him to SmackDown, signed him to Raw. Ironically, Braun Breaker signed with SmackDown and then got drafted to Raw a month later. So just play it out like that to say, and if you want to keep it, so you can call it a draft, but then only draft NXT people and not draft everybody. They don't want to wipe the whole roster clean, but you reserve, let's say, 10 NXT guys and girls combined. You draft from that pool. Everybody else is a free agent. You can even play it out on TV to say, a superstar can walk up to Adam Pearce and say, look, my contract running up in a couple weeks. And so that almost gives Adam Pearce, oh man, I need to do something with this guy, or I may lose him to SmackDown, and vice versa. So that's how you fix the draft. It does not need to be this show is on the clock and let's draft these people, because you're keeping your same people. So just like free agency, I'm re-signing my people to SmackDown. I'm re-signing my people to Raw, and you may decide, you know what, you're not worth re-signing. I'm just trying to throw a name out there. You're not Ludwig. You're not worth re-signing to Raw. So test your waters over at SmackDown. Or Shawn Michaels will come in from NXT and scoop them up. They just gives it's a way to do this better. I think.
There you go, right here.
Yeah, so
something like a WWE free agent frenzy. That's all you're doing.
That's all you're doing.
And then, like, how they used to do with how they still do. with the NBA free agent period and stuff like that.
When the
Once,
deadline comes,
yeah, so
so
there'll be like a deadline day coming at 12:01 p.m.
yeah,
These
folks at the
superstars can stuff, and you can
right.
start like that, and then just have it on
And,
there.
and even if you wanted to, and I think sometimes it's this too, to get these legends on TV, they had these legends come out and do these draft picks. You can say SmackDown has like 5 legends signed to be the what's the word, liaison when it comes to dealing with these other superstars. So say SmackDown, let's say Teddy Long is one of their I know I'm saying his name his word wrong, liaison or somebody in there, the middleman, that come midnight 12:01, you see Teddy Long in somebody parking lot at the doorbell ringing a Braun Breaker or somebody. Hey, like, I need you to sign with SmackDown. I know you're on Raw right now, but we got this
Yeah,
opportunity lined up for you. We got a U.S. title lined up for you. We got a tag team title line. Just give some incentives. I just think it makes better TV, in my opinion.
yeah. And also, I would go a step further. You know what I'm saying? Get you a Adrian Wojnarowski and those kind of
And
people,
and they
and
officially have
break that
breaking
stuff on
news, yeah.
Twitter just like they would do with anything else,
Mhm.
to get more people involved online and stuff like that. Our sources confirmed that Seth Rollins,
Yeah.
has been signed by da 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 da, and stuff like
And,
that.
and it's funny, and there's people out there that do that on the internet that don't technically work for WWE, but they still breaking news. So
Bring them in.
you just bring them in. You can slip them a DM real quick. Say, hey, Roman Reigns is about to sign with Raw, and nobody knows about it yet. Break the story, break the news. So
Dave Meltzer,
right
all
there,
of these other
what they
hell.
call it, the Sean Ross Sapp, those people out there, yeah, they all
Mhm.
break
Hell,
wrestling
use
news.
us once we
Yeah,
get
yeah, we
continue
got
to get
you.
big. I got
We
you.
got you.
You
We
can hit
got you.
me up. I put it out there on X under the Black Four Horsemen, and we'll put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's some improvements and stuff that I think that can be still made, because it's kind of anticlimactic. I like the fact that Carmelo Hayes was drafted, because you saw how they usually waited towards the later rounds and they picked NXT people and
People,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Which was crazy that Carmelo and Ilya Dragunov were different days, and stuff like that based on. But we all know that they're really trying to take advantage of Melo right now. But yeah, it's a lot of things that they could do better. Are they going to continue? Do you think they're going to continue to do it every year, or is this going to be a by year?
I mean, did they have it? Did they have it last year?
Every two
I feel like
years.
they do it every 2 years.
Mhm.
I feel like they've had it recently, but I'm okay with doing it sporadically. I just don't want to be an everyday thing. Because see, when Vince was running things, it was like an every year thing. You knew Mania was going to happen. You knew, but see, the problem I always had when Vince did it, he did it kind of close to like November around Survivor Series, and he would do those brands versus brands Survivor Series match. Well, these folks just drafted to their brand. They don't know them people. Somebody that was just with Raw a year ago, they signed with SmackDown, and then 2 weeks later they in this match SmackDown versus Raw when technically wearing a SmackDown shirt, but they just got there. So I
Mhm.
didn't like that. So at least they're doing it earlier on in the year. Um, but that
Yeah.
oh snap! Look, check this out. I didn't see this either. So I watched the first 30 minutes of NXT and I missed the rest of it. And before, I don't know if this was on air, but I mentioned that Wes Lee showed back up and confronted
Right.
Obi Femi. Well, supposedly when Obi Femi was coming to the ring, Trick Williams was leaving the ring. So there's a picture now on Twitter of them crossing each other's paths, like kind of staring down at each other. So that's gonna be that looks interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, that's gonna be something coming down the line. That was a nice little teaser right there
Oh
to
yeah.
show what's coming down the line with this. So yeah, pretty interesting week for this the draft and everything like that. They pretty much covered the bigger parts uh, of the show or whatever. Anything else that took place outside of the draft um, that we didn't cover that we might need to um, look into or speaking. I don't think I caught anything that pretty much caught my eye. We talked about the Dom and Liv thing. That was pretty big. Um,
I do. Yeah, that's not out as far as on air wrestling news. Yeah, I think that was it. Nothing major happened. I did not watch any AEW this week, so our normal AEW correspondent is not here tonight, so
Nope.
he usually covers AEW for us, but
we can talk about some of the silly shit that been going on. What about Tony Khan?
yes, we gotta say that. So now I would say
Getting
this.
jumped.
I respect. Now here's the thing. I respect Tony Khan for still living the gimmick. He got power drive.
Oh, at the NFL draft,
and he had the neck brace on the NFL draft. Respect. All right, so that shows you that he was a fan growing up, and he knows how to how they're supposed to work. Because not only that, because of that, he had an interview on I think the NFL Network and also on ESPN. Them asking about the neck brace. That gave him an opportunity to pub up AEW. So it was a genius move. Now there was some comments that outside of the ring that I didn't see all of the, I guess, the reaction to it. But in his interview, he mentioned about AEW being, the wrestling show, and he said something about we're the Pepsi of this. We're the Pepsi of this business.
He said the WWE Harvey Weinstein of the rep. Wow.
That's what I was getting at. So I didn't read onto that, so I didn't see any of the backlash that may have come from that, but he did kind of throw a jab at WWE when it comes to that stuff. So
yeah.
But we'll see.
Let's see. Swerve made his debut. I've noticed they went back to the place they were where they've been when they had the whole COVID thing going on and stuff like that.
Were they at Davies' place? Is that what it's called? Yeah. So yeah, that's where they were during the pandemic. Yeah.
So I wonder. I'm like, are they just not filling out?
Well, I think because AEW does travel to cities multiple times a year, like that. Of course, we've mentioned in earlier episodes that we're based in Memphis, Tennessee. When WWE comes in town, they come to Memphis maybe once, maybe twice a year. They may bring Raw and SmackDown, but that's pretty much it. Well, AEW, because they are smaller, there's no hate. They are a smaller company. They go to multiple cities throughout the year. Like I know they go to Chicago 5-6 times a year. Chicago alone. Jacksonville is like their home base, and Davies' place is like the arena they go to when they use when they go to Jacksonville. So yeah. So I don't know if it has anything to do with them not selling out the building. It just that's kind of home for them. So it's a safe place. If they need to sell, 1,500 tickets, they know they can do that at Davies' place. So
yeah, I saw something else on here. I need to make sure I start screenshotting this stuff, but they were just talking about like it's the attendance and stuff for the week.
Oh yeah.
And
I said
attendance. What attendance was it? Money? It was something that was showing, but AEW was.
Well, the attendance has always been a thing. I don't think you came to the AEW show when they came to Memphis. Well, you wouldn't have. You've been in Arizona. But
I don't know if they've been out here enough. I think they did come out here, but I didn't go to it because I'm just
So me, Joe, and Sig went to the show. And granted, I mean it's a good show. They literally, and that's my first AEW show, but they filmed 3 different TV shows in that one setting. So now the shows like what's one of the other ones they call like AEW Dark and AEW because Tony Khan also runs Ring of Honor, they had a Ring of Honor show too. They only had like 2 or 3 matches, but they changed out the stage, they changed out the apron with ROH stuff, the screens, ROH, and they filmed the ROH show there too. But I say this to say, so you can't see the room I'm in, but if this is my seat and the ring is up here, the hard camera is over here. All of the crowd was over here. There was nobody sitting over here.
They moved everybody. Wow.
So they moved everybody to a point where even if the camera swayed a little bit, it will only show this side of the, where the people was at. So yeah, that's how they do it. So when you see those photos on the internet of people saying nobody's here, I mean, that's true. They don't sell half of their buildings. Here's an example. I did not see it live. I didn't see it live, but somebody mentioned it on only Twitter, Instagram, somewhere.
Yeah.
You know when Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, when he comes out with his music, he goes to one side and he goes to the other side. He kind of throws his arm or get ready.
Right.
His last match, he only goes to one side. He does not go to the other side. Even though the camera is on him, the camera wouldn't wasn't paying toward the crowd anyway. But when he
No.
comes out, he does his running. He only goes to one side of the arena, celebrate, then he comes down to the down the middle
Yeah.
aisle.
We know that nobody's over there.
Yeah, we know.
We don't want anybody to see it. But anyway, shout out to AEW. They still out here doing their thing, and
yeah,
like I said, there's everybody out there there's some people out there that just die hard AEW and don't fox with Monday Night Raw, WWE at all. So hey, the competition, like Mark, you say, it makes for good competition and stuff like that, and you don't want to have a monopoly of wrestling. So
right, yeah, trust me. Even though I don't watch it regularly, I keep up with it as far as news, and I'm glad there is another organization, a secondary organization out there, because again, it just makes competition better. You want to, it forces companies to write better TV because you're competing with another company, and that's just what it is.
Right. Oh, check this out though, and then we can move on so we can go and get out of here. But did you see something about the reason why Vince bought all his stock out?
I didn't see the reason. I did see that he ended up
the rumor. Let me just say that alleged rumor is that Vince is quietly trying to purchase another.
I did see that. I did see that. Yeah.
Was it
they
GCW? GCW, Jeff Jarrett's an old company. Global Force Wrestling. I mean,
now I didn't see what company he was trying to buy, but I did see a headline that said Vince was trying to start his own wrestling company. Vince just needs to sit down to it. I think I said it before. If maybe not him, somebody else. When your name is out there in the media, there's dirt on your name. The best thing you can do is just go away. Be quiet. Don't. I guarantee you. Now, Bill Cosby, he's getting locked up for it. But if you go away, get out of the public spotlight for a couple years, and then slowly come back, things will be totally different. What will get people in trouble is they constantly trying to stay relevant. They constantly trying to stay on top of things and have their face known out there. When you got all this dirt and controversy behind you, just be quiet and go away. And I promise you, it will what they say, time heals all wounds. Just give it time. Just be quiet and let that time roll.
So heart growth under.
Right.
So when you come back 3 years now and no chance in hell come on, you would probably get a pop.
Right.
Because anybody haven't heard from you.
It's funny. It's funny you said that. I follow a lot of wrestling fans on Twitter and stuff, and I saw a meme that said, sex is great, it's great. But have you ever heard a wrestler's theme music that come back when he's been gone for months? Like just that feeling you get when that music hits for somebody that you hadn't heard it. It's like better than sex. It was just a funny trend going on.
That's true, because when the Hardy Boys came back, I didn't know. Like they kept that. I love that. Like that's the only thing I don't like is that you have people. And you have people everywhere that's where these wrestlers coming in, they want to see who's getting off the plane, who's walking through the airport, all of that stuff, who's renting cars, who's pulling up in the building. They were able to keep that tight-lipped. That was one of the craziest pops when the Hardy Boys came back.
Yeah, that's the thing about wrestling. If we think about, again, we all, me, you, people listening, people watching, we're all fans. We probably grew up wrestling fans. The one thing that made wrestling, and as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, this is a TV show, made TV shows great, is the surprises. You don't need to announce when people are coming back. You don't need to say, I know they do it for ratings and stuff like that, but we loved watching a random episode of Raw, and the match had nothing to do with this person, nothing to do with anything, and all of a sudden that glass break, you hear Stone Cold run out because you wasn't expecting it. Or Triple H has been gone for months. No, he been gone months with the injury. It's the I don't want to say it was a Royal Rumble match or maybe just a random episode. And
no, it was a random. He was in Madison Square Garden. Came back.
And his music hit without you knowing about it. Even that day, even more recent, when The Rock showed up randomly in like Denver, Colorado, and nobody expected it, the crowd went crazy.
When Edge came back,
the Royal Rumble, Edge came back.
I don't know if I heard anything about that. When You Think You Know Me came, I was like, wait, what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then for him to stay around and still wrestle and not be like one of those gimmicks where you come in and
Just for
you
that
do a
match,
few
then you don't
moves
come
and
back.
then you get thrown over in another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Those are the moments and stuff that I wish that we continue to have, because everybody wants to be on top of, they want to be the first to break who's going to come
Right.
back
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we need to go back to those moments where, you kind of keep that hush for the fans and stuff like
Right.
that, because, ain't no pop like that. None.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think
Couple
that we're
things.
pretty much.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. Go
couple
ahead.
things I want to talk about, and before we get off the wrestling tip, I mentioned this to you off the air. I want to mention it there while now we're live, that in this whole wrestling community, especially the Black wrestling community, we are experiencing loss, a death in our family. Trey D, who is over We Love Wrestling. If you ever Google We Love Wrestling LUV, especially on social media, you see that he was a big part of promoting other Black wrestlers, promoting Black promotions, Black podcasts, things of that nature. So I think from what I understand, he died unexpectedly. So for anybody that's out here that's listening, I just wanted to let them know that we are thinking about that, thinking about his family. I follow a lot of those people, his circle of friends on social media, and they mentioned that he is leaving a young son, and they have a promotion on prowrestlingtees.com right now. If you go to their website, that's where you buy all your wrestling shirts. And look for We Love LUV. We Love Wrestling. It's the black shirt with the blue writing. Looks like they got barbed wire in the background. All the sales from all proceeds from those sales will go toward his young son. So we want to kind of support him and give a shout out to the whole Black wrestling community, and just putting that word out there. So we want to express that before we get out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I want to see.
If you
What
can
was the name of
find a way,
that? Well, yeah, what
go
was that website?
go to Pro Wrestling Tees, like t-shirts, TEES. I think it's
Okay.
plural. Pro Wrestling Tees, yeah.com. And I think in the search bar, if you just do We Love Wrestling, you should see the shirt. Because he had, and this is what I wanted. That's how I wanted to start the segment, because his saying was, "If I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling." There was even some wrestlers over at AEW that had mentioned that on camera, basically showing their support for him as well.
Oh, that's dope. That's
Yeah, so
nice.
it's like, so he was definitely known within the wrestling community, as a fan, as a contributor, as a supporter. So we
And you
want
said
to,
it's the one with you say it's the one with the
the
barbed
blue
wire.
barbed wire has the blue writing. It was a black shirt with like blue and white writing, with the barbed wire in the background.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see it. I see it here. So, to basically confirm what you were saying that if they purchase this particular shirt, the proceeds will
Yes,
go towards this young man.
yeah, we'll go toward his son, the guy that passed away. He's leaving behind a young son. I believe the son's name is Jordan. They've mentioned that a lot on social media, but some of those proceeds from buying this shirt will go toward his son and his family. So.
Y'all check that out. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. So, you guys, as you can see right here, prowrestlingtees.com. In the search bar here, go ahead and type in We Love Wrestling, LUV, and go cop this shirt right here, man. It's helping somebody else who unfortunately is growing up without a father. And, Father's Day is coming up here this summer. So, a very, very tough time. I know how that feels. I've lost a father myself. So, we like to have fun and games and stuff like that, but like you said, life happens. You know what I'm saying? For this man who loves wrestling just like, Q and I and Sig and all of the rest of the Four Horsemen, we love wrestling, but life happens. And I thought this is pretty cool for them to do to support the man. So guys, go out there and check that out as well. And finally, on a uh, happier note, and I want to get your opinion on this.
I think I know where you're going, and I'm gonna tell you,
You already know where
I,
I'm going. It's a fine time in hip hop, ladies and
I have not heard it yet. I knew you were going. I noticed about. I have not heard. I think I saw some people playing in the backgrounds, like reaction to it, but I have not sat down and actually listened to it and observed it myself. So I'm the wrong one to comment.
Fine time for hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. If I could steal that from one of my hip hop reactors, man. Gosh, the Drake and Kendrick Lamar stuff continues. With this diss track that was put out as of it's like 10 something this morning on my side. So it had to be like 1 Central and 2 East Coast or whatever. And I listened to the first one. I listened to it first. And I was like, okay, kid. The more and more I listened to it, and the more I got some understanding for some of my favorite reactors out there that I listen to and stuff like that. It's nuts, bro.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. From what I understand, that everybody's waiting on Drake to respond. From what I heard, he probably just need to be quiet. So
yeah, you go take that. You take a listen to that. You go take a listen to that and check out some of the reactors and people who are reacting to it to kind of get if you lost in some of the what's going on and stuff like that. These some talented people out here that break down bars and get you to feel what Kung Fu Kenny was talking about on this thing. So yeah, check out Euphoria, y'all, because Drake punch back, dog, fight back.
I would definitely go listen to it. Another non-wrestling topic I want to bring up to you personally. Granted, we are based in Memphis, so we like to break Memphis news around here, especially sports news. And you may not have gotten this because being out on the West Coast now. So the former Little General Andre Turner has now joined Penny Hardaway's staff as an assistant head coach of the Memphis basketball team. Yeah, I heard the rumors earlier today. The news just broke on ESPN while we were recording the show. So yeah, so that happened about 40 minutes ago. So because I knew he was no longer. I knew he was stepping down from Lane College as their head coach. They moved on. I think they got a younger guy out there, but yeah, Andre Turner will now be an assistant coach to Penny Hardaway for the Memphis Tigers basketball team. And for the people that outside of Memphis that may be hearing this, you have no idea who we're talking about. Everybody knows who Penny Hardaway is.
Penny though.
Well, Andre Turner is another former Memphis Tiger that played under Larry Finch. And I want to say maybe he was a couple years older than Penny. He was like the guy before Penny here locally in Memphis. But he was way before Penny.
He wasn't way before Penny because how old is Penny? Because Andre Turner's 60. Dang, that's crazy. Andre Turner is 60.
Is he 60? Ooh, gee, yeah, because Penny's 50 at the if I'm 47 at the most, he's probably 50, 51. So yeah, it was a long time before him. So
that's some breaking news right there. I like that right there. That's gonna bring some more toughness because he was like Avery Johnson almost.
Yeah,
but a little bit colder. Let me say in Memphis, he was cold as hell.
He was cold, yeah. He cold.
Hey, Andre Turner was cold as hell. That is dope. I appreciate the breaking. I'm gonna go read some more stuff about this. So hey, look, we just breaking news and talking about random. So I told you we talk about wrestling and stuff like that. Yeah, we do that. But we also just have fun and just shoot random stuff and talk about real life as well. So
but we gonna express home all the way. So yeah, if things happening in Memphis that we feel like we need to put it out there, we're gonna let y'all know. So.
Yeah. So we appreciate that, Q. We appreciate your time, man. Shout out to the rest of the 4 Horsemen, man. They couldn't be here tonight, but hopefully they big head ass was tuning in.
Did you say big head ass?
Yeah, they big head ass was over here listening and tuning in to the rest of the 4 Horsemen, man. Recap a week of wrestling. Look, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, go to all of our followings on Instagram. Twitter. Here on YouTube and stuff like that. Spread the news that you got some positive black wrestling fans, just overall cool dudes, man, that you would just kind of hang out with, man. Recording a podcast, recording a video, bringing all kind of the latest news in wrestling, hip hop, what's going on in Memphis and what's going on out here in Arizona on the West Coast. Whatever it is we want to talk about, we want to bring that to you guys. So we appreciate the love and support. And that's all being said, Q. We out this thing, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah.